Every time a new DAW updates or a piece of music gear gets announced, YouTube and social media go haywire. You start to see all types of videos and posts about the latest release, and rightfully so. These tools are how we as producers make a living. It is how we express ourselves creatively. But the moment someone voices a legit concern, boom, they're hit with "stop complaining." I've seen it over and over and over again on different videos and on many different forums. Heck, I've seen it on my own videos right here on the channel. So let's talk about it. Do music producers not have the right to critique something they've spent their hard-earned money on? Are they actually complaining? Or are they trying to improve the tools they rely on? Let's flip this real quick. Imagine if any other product launched the way that some music hardware and software do. Imagine buying a MacBook, right? A brand new MacBook or a Windows laptop, and it doesn't support Wi-Fi at launch. They tell you a patch is going to come in the next few months. Would you accept that? Right? Imagine if you get the latest iPhone and there's no text messaging option, and they'll tell you, we'll add that, in the next update. Now, you'd probably be pissed. What if a new PlayStation or Xbox drops? Right? I mean, I think, Xbox just released something anyway, but what if a new PlayStation or Xbox did drop and you can't play with your friends online? You're told it'll be fixed in the next update. You know that's unacceptable. You wouldn't accept that from a phone, a laptop, a game, etc. So why should we accept it in music gear? Let's zoom in for a quick second, not just on what's happening, but why it matters. Because this isn't just about people venting online. It's a conversation about respect, accountability, and standards in the creative tech world, which music gear and music software are a part of. I want to first talk about the right to critique. I mean, heck, you paid for it, right? You paid for it. That is your justification right there. To critique is you bought it. You have an opinion about what you purchased. You automatically have the right to critique what you've purchased. Now, we know music production gear isn't cheap, whether it's, that $99 plugin or a $1,200 standalone sampler. It's a serious investment. We know everybody just ain't got that type of bread laying around. You're not a beta tester, right? I mean, yeah, in some instances you are a beta tester, but you're a paying customer. Actually, if you're shelling out money for a product, you are a paying customer. And when that product doesn't deliver what was promised, you have every right to speak on it. And here's the thing, not all criticism is created equally. Whining, right? So there's a difference between whining and actual critique. Whining is saying, this sucks. And you give no context, no helpful input, no thoughts to what could be improved. But thoughtful feedback is different, right? This is the actual real critique, right? That's what moves the industry forward, right? It's saying, okay, this is broke. This function doesn't work. And here is why that function doesn't work. And here's what we like to see, because here is how it impacts our workflow, right? That's how you got to approach it, right? You got to talk about what it is, why it's important, and what it truly impacts. All right, the first thing I want to say is don't ever let anyone I don't care if it's your favorite YouTube producer, your favorite YouTube content creator, or someone in these comments making you feel guilty for holding a product to the standard it sold itself on. I don't care who they are, right? They could be, right, your biggest, most viral producer, creator. No one should ever shame you for providing a critique, feedback to a product you purchased, you spent your money on. So the second thing I want to really touch on is why is criticism needed? Here's the truth many forget. Companies actually rely on your feedback, especially in the music tech world. I mean, you think Akai and Native Instruments and Roland and Arturia don't have teams of members scanning Reddit threads, YouTube comments, or forum posts? Trust me, they do. I absolutely know 100% firsthand that they do, because I had someone reach out to me personally. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but based upon the video that I made, the comments that were in the comment section, I got contacted about it. So I know that they're scanning these things, right? Your voice is important in the music community. These conversations need to be had because those conversations, your input, your feedback, it can inform their roadmap for these companies. Criticism, especially when it is constructive, right? Criticism just for the sake of criticism isn't helpful for anyone, right? So it has to be constructive because it becomes a blueprint for better products. Without community feedback, we end up with updates that don't really address real needs, or worse, we get new gear that fixes nothing and it can cost us more. And who wants, like I said, you got money laying around like that? I guess. I know I don't. So I want the product that I'm purchasing to be able to work to fit the needs that I have as a music producer. Your comment might be that one that gets noticed and leads to a patch or a feature update. In this space, your voice really does shape the tools that we use. So don't ever be afraid to voice your thoughts, opinions, ideas, concerns constructively in comments, on forums, and in videos. The third thing I want to talk about with this whole thing is the culture of silence, or quote unquote loyalty, right? There is a loyalty war in this game. I don't know if you've seen it, but there is. And it's kind of weird. I don't get it, right? It's kind of weird because when you step back and take a look at it, you got people who have loyalty to products. One, you ain't even built this product. You just spent your money on it and you're a diehard loyalist to it, and you bash other people who may not display the same level of loyaltyism that you do for a product, right? I can understand if it's a family member or if it's, your spouse or something like that. I mean, it's a product. And you see it, whether it's Maschine versus MPC, which of course is the hottest topic as always, whether it's Ableton or FL Studio, it becomes real tribal, real fast. And you got camps, right? In these camps, any form of critique is seen as disloyal. Oh, you're supposed to be an MPC guy. How can you say bad things about it? You're supposed to be a Maschine guy. How can you say bad things about it? Because I have a choice to critique something that I purchased. It feels like as soon as you say something about it, you've betrayed the tribe. You've betrayed the group. You've become disloyal. That mindset is crazy to me, right? It is crazy to me. It is a very dangerous mindset to have. First of all, these companies aren't your family. They don't know you. They're a business. Second, silence doesn't create progress. It protects mediocrity. If you love your gear, all right, you could love your gear. You should want it to be better. Loyalty isn't about blind praise. It's about pushing for excellence, continual improvement. True fans help improve the thing that they're loyal to. So don't be ashamed. Voice your concerns, voice your opinions in a very helpful way. Don't just whine about it, but provide some constructive criticism to how to improve it. And then the other thing is, why do some people view it as complaining? So why does critique rub some people the wrong way? Always a question that I have. Why does what I have to say about a particular product and how it impacts my workflow bother you so much? A lot of it boils down to confirmation bias, right? People don't want to hear that something that they spent their money on might be flawed. It makes them feel like their decision is being challenged, and people don't like being challenged, right? So instead of addressing the issue, they attack the person that brings it up, whether it's on YouTube videos, on forums, on Reddit, whatever the case. They actually attack the person for bringing up their viable complaint or constructive feedback in relationship to the product that they, once again, spent their money on buying. Then, of course, once again, tribalism is a real thing, right? There's the feeling that your favorite tool is under attack and you got to defend it like it's your identity. Like owning an MPC is your identity. Owning a Maschine is your identity. Being associated with the Kai defines you as a producer. Being associated with Native Instruments define you as a producer. Yo, gear isn't personality. You are allowed to be objective. And finally, with this whole thing is misinformation. Some people genuinely don't know how product development works. They think they do. They think an update will magically fix everything overnight. Or they assume you're being unrealistic for expecting quality at launch, right? But expectations aren't the problem. Lack of accountability is, because you know you wouldn't accept half-baked products from any other company. But we don't expect that from other tech companies, but we let it slide when it comes to music tech companies. I don't know. And then the last thing I guess I really want to talk about is the difference between feedback and hate. Feedback and hate, right? So I'm just going to really end this section with talking about the difference between the two, right? I'm going to draw the line in the sand when it comes to this. Criticism is not hate. I know y'all think it is. I don't know where that comes from, but criticism is not hate. Just because I ever thought about it doesn't mean I hate it, right? Hate is an emotional, vague, and usually loud representation of what you have from your voice perspective of that particular product. It could be things like, yo, this is trash, or this sucks, or this is unusual garbage, man. Like, psh, this is horrible. That's not helpful for anyone. Not the developers, not the users, not the community, no one. Just complaining about something is not helpful. But feedback is different, right? Once again, you're talking to somebody who past 26, 7 years lives in organizational development and leadership training, right? I've done it for so long, and I talk about and teach feedback is a gift. Feedback is golden because feedback is used to improve. So if you got feedback, that's what we want. That's gold. Feedback is 100% gold, right? So when you say things like, this feature crashes every time I load it with whatever plugin, whatever sound, and then why is that happening? Or what you would like to see, that's helpful, right? Things like, this update removes something essential to my process, and here's what happened, right? Or you could say there's no MIDI learn function, and that's the basic function for live sets. I need that to do what I need to be able to do. Here's how it impacts my workflow, my performance. That's different than just saying, oh man, this is garbage. This sucks. Right? And you do get people who just say that, but there are a ton of people who provide real criticism, right? And we need to normalize this type of feedback and stop reacting to every single critique like it's an insult, like somebody just came and attacked your family or something. It's a critique. And if anything, the loudest silence is when everyone stays quiet and just accepts the flaws. And that's not how innovation works. If you've really been in a truly innovative position, organization, team, etc., you know how innovation works. There's a process to real innovation. And the biggest part of the innovative process is feedback, critiquing things, what works, what doesn't work, prototyping and countertyping, and going through that particular process to end up with whatever product it is that needs to be designed. Right? These kinds, oh my gosh, these kinds of half-finished releases and broken promises are happening all over the music industry, right? Well, you've seen them. You've seen these things happen, right? So think about some of these things, right? So back in the day, Akai launched their MPC, and Akai drops a new firmware update, and suddenly the auto sampling is busted, or the plugins aren't loading the presets. When people speak up, it instantly gets labeled as complainers. Why? Why? This is a professional tool. You are allowed to expect consistency, right? When Maschine Plus launched, I know how Maschine users feel about Maschine Plus, right? When it launched without full software integration, right? Native Instruments dropped the Maschine Plus without fully integrating a lot of things in the Maschine Plus software, right? And we know that. We know that Native Instruments promise standalone magic, but it launched missing a lot of software features and plugin supports. Users who spoke up weren't just venting, they helped push updates that improved the product for every single one, right? These types of things are happening over and over again, right? When Plugin Alliance dropped, the ball when it came to the Apple Silicon support, right? People waited forever for M1 support, right? I mean, Apple's now on M4, which is ridiculous if you really think about where M1 was just a few years ago and where M4 is now today, but only after vocal backlash, the Plugin Alliance really prioritized native updates. The feedback from you forced action for these individuals. And one of the biggest ones is when Avid Pro Tools decided that they wanted to implement a subscription, and there was backlash, right? So they tried to ditch that whole perpetual license and go to that full subscription model. Y'all push back. I got friends who love Pro Tools, right? And they really pushed back. And guess what? They walked it back. Why? Because they knew that there was a whole community of users out there who was like, nah. This ain't the way that you need to go. We understand what you're trying to do, but we're not kind of having what's about to happen with this particular product. Their feedback, their pushback changed things from that perspective. So again, why are people treated like haters when they expect better? Critique equals accountability. Silence equals acceptance of whatever they give us. It's not about being negative. It's about refusing to settle. That's the biggest thing. We don't settle. Have you ever been told that you were complaining just for pointing out a real problem or issue? Did it make you second guess sharing your thoughts? I want to know. Drop it in the comments. Let's normalize these types of conversations. Let's show that feedback is power, and power belongs to the people who use the gear. If you like this type of content, I want you to like, share, subscribe, especially if you believe producers deserve better. This isn't about bashing companies. It's about building a better future for all of us as music creators. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep creating, stay inspired, and keep pushing the boundaries of music. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.